Did you know that Forrest Gump is surprisingly popular in Japan? Not just because it's a great movie, but because, in a quiet, subtle way, Forrest represents something deeply Japanese. We often see him as an innocent, simple man. But his approach to life, accepting everything without complaint, never chasing success, and just doing what's in front of him, is strangely similar to a certain Japanese mindset. I absolutely love Forrest Gump. Not just for the story or the quotes, but for how it reflects something I now recognize in Japanese culture. A kind of wisdom in surrender, in accepting fate without resistance. So in this video, let's dive into how Forrest Gump, a purely American character, somehow embodies the soul of Japanese culture. From Zen philosophy to everyday sayings like Shikata ga nai, you might be surprised how deeply the film connects to Japan. Let's begin with a simple question. Why does Forrest Gump resonate so deeply in a culture that rarely shows emotion? Section 1. Why does Forrest Gump resonate in Japan? Why do so many Japanese people love Forrest Gump? It might surprise you because this film isn't really emotional in a loud way. There are no big speeches, no action-packed drama, and yet it leaves a deep impression. Why is that? It's something more quiet, more subtle, and very, very Japanese. You see, Forrest doesn't try to change his fate. He just accepts life. He walks through it, one step at a time. No anger, no revenge, no ego. In Western movies, heroes often fight destiny. They rebel, they conquer, they shout. But Forrest, he listens, he waits, and he moves on. This soft strength, this quiet endurance, it's something Japanese people deeply respect. Think about the phrase Shikata ga nai. It means, it can't be helped. It's not defeat, it's wisdom. And that's Forrest. He never blames anyone. He never complains, even when life is unfair. This is the beauty that Japanese viewers feel. Because in Japan, there's a belief that accepting fate is not weakness, it's peace. So let me ask you, do you think surrender is always a failure? Or could it sometimes be strength? Section 2. Life is like a box of chocolates. Does that work in Japan? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. It's the most famous line from Forrest Gump. And in the West, people love it. It's funny, it's simple, it's wise. But how does that line feel in Japan? Does it really make sense? Or does it clash with a very different cultural mindset? You see, in many Western cultures, life is uncertain. That's normal. You deal with it. You make your own path. But in Japan, things are more planned. Predictability is comfort. Uncertainty can feel dangerous, or even irresponsible. There's a cultural pressure to know the outcome, to avoid mistakes, to keep harmony, to not surprise others. So when Forrest says, "You never know," some Japanese viewers might smile. But deep down, they may feel uneasy. Still, here's the twist. Even though uncertainty feels uncomfortable, Japanese people don't panic. Why? Because deep in the culture, there's another belief. That whatever happens, just accept it. In that way, Forrest's line does fit. Not because people love randomness, but because they've learned how to live with it. So maybe the chocolate box isn't about surprise. Maybe it's about surrender, and finding peace even in uncertainty. And that idea? That's very Japanese. Section 3. Fate versus free will. The West challenges, Japan accepts. Do you believe in fate? Or do you believe we control our own destiny? In Western culture, the answer is usually clear. Fight fate. Make your own future. Be your own hero. This belief is everywhere, in movies, in books, in daily life. From childhood, people are told, you can be anything you want. Never give up. Don't settle. But in Japan, the story is different. Here, people grow up hearing, don't stand out. Go with the flow. Accept what you can't change. It's not that Japanese people have no dreams. They do, but they're taught to fit into the world, not to conquer it. That's why Forrest Gump feels so familiar. He doesn't try to control everything. He lets life unfold, and still, he finds meaning. He finds love. He finds peace. In the West, letting go can feel weak. but in Japan, it can feel wise. There's a quiet strength in surrender, a silent power in acceptance. And that's something Forrest understands, without ever saying it. So maybe the real question is this: is freedom always about control? Or can freedom also mean letting go? Section 4 Ganbaru versus Akirameru, two sides of the same coin. In Japan, two words guide daily life: Ganbaru and Akirameru. One means to try your best, the other means to give up. At first, they sound like opposites. One is about effort, the other is about surrender. But in Japanese culture, these aren't enemies. They're twins, two sides of the same coin. You Ganbaru when there's hope, you Akirameru when hope is gone. And both can be the right choice. It's not always about winning. It's about knowing when to hold on and when to let go. Western thinking often sees giving up as failure. It's shameful. It's weak. It means you lost. But in Japan, Akirameru can mean peace. It can mean maturity. It can even mean compassion. Imagine a job that's destroying your health. Do you quit? In the West, quitting might feel like losing. In Japan, quitting might mean you finally understand what matters most. Forrest doesn't chase. He doesn't force. He does his best and accepts the rest. That's what Japanese people recognize. Not a quitter, but someone wise enough to know his limits. So what if Ganbaru and Akirameru aren't enemies? What if they're partners in a life well lived? Section 5 Gump's quiet acceptance reflects Zen-like wisdom. Forrest Gump never fights life. He doesn't complain. He doesn't resist. He just accepts. That may sound passive to some, but to others, it feels powerful. It feels calm. It feels like Zen. Zen teaches us to let go, to stay in the moment, to accept things as they are without judgment. Forrest lives this way. He doesn't chase happiness. He doesn't run from pain. He simply moves forward, with a clear heart and steady steps. He meets death. He meets love. He meets loss. And still he remains centered. In a loud world, Forrest is silent. In a chaotic world, he is still. He listens. He observes. He doesn't rush. That's why so many people feel peace when they watch him. Especially in Japan. Because in Japanese Zen, there's a deep respect for non-resistance. Not giving up but flowing with life. Like a river that bends around rocks, without losing its path. This is Forrest. He flows. He adapts. And somehow, he arrives. Not through force, but through presence. So the next time life gets hard, ask yourself, do you need to fight? Or maybe you just need to breathe and take one quiet step forward? Section 6 Japanese sayings that echo Gump's philosophy. Have you ever heard the phrase, Shikata ga nai? It means, it can't be helped. But it's more than that. It's a quiet way of accepting reality. In Japan, this phrase is used all the time. Trains are late? Shikata ga nai. It rains on your wedding day? Shikata ga nai. A tragedy strikes? Still Shikata ga nai. It doesn't mean people don't care. It means they've learned to live with what they can't control. Another phrase is, Naru you ni Naru. It means, things will become what they're meant to become. Doesn't that sound like something Forrest would say? These phrases carry deep emotional wisdom. They teach patience. They teach humility. They teach peace. In the West, people often ask, what can I do to change this? In Japan, people often ask, how can I accept this with grace? It's not one is better than the other. It's just different. But here's the question. Which mindset brings more peace? Is peace found in control? Or in surrender? That's why Forrest's simple lines, like that's all I have to say about that, sound so familiar to Japanese ears. Not dramatic, not loud, just true. And maybe, that's what wisdom sounds like. Section 7 American individualism versus Japanese collectivism. Who wins? Forrest Gump is the ultimate individual. He follows no trends. He doesn't try to fit in. He just walks his own path quietly. That sounds very American, doesn't it? Be yourself. Stand out. Follow your dreams. But here's the strange thing. Japanese people raised in a collectivist culture love Forrest. Why? In Japan, harmony is everything. You think of the group before yourself. You avoid conflict. You stay modest. So why do people in such a culture admire a man who lives only for himself? The answer might surprise you. It's because Forrest doesn't rebel. He doesn't shout for attention. He's not loud or arrogant. He simply is. And that quiet honesty feels respectful. In a culture that values humility, Forrest's silence is powerful. In a society that avoids confrontation, his non-resistance feels comforting. He's not trying to lead others, but somehow, people follow him. Not because he commands them, but because he lives with sincerity. And that's something Japanese people admire deeply. So maybe Forrest isn't just an individual. Maybe he's a harmonious individual. Someone who lives authentically, without disturbing the peace around him. In that way, he may be the perfect balance between being yourself and belonging. Section 8 from Run, Forrest, Run, to Yareru Tokoro Maid, Ganbaru. Run, Forrest, run. It's one of the most iconic lines in the movie. But it's not just about running. It's about not giving up. About moving forward, even when you're scared. That moment, when young Forrest runs away from bullies, toward freedom, is powerful. Not because he wins, but because he tries. In Japan, there's a similar spirit. It's called Yareru Tokoro Maid, Ganbaru. Do your best, as far as you can. It's not about success. It's about effort. It's about sincerity. Japanese people are taught from childhood. Don't give up easily. Try hard. Do your best until you truly can't anymore. But here's the difference. In the West, people push for success. In Japan, people push for effort itself. The goal is not the goal. The effort is. Forrest Gump doesn't care about fame. He doesn't want awards. He just runs. Because it feels right. That's what makes him so relatable in Japan. He Ganbarus. Not for pride. Not for show. But simply because it's honest. So the next time you hear Run, Forrest, run. Try thinking of it this way. It's not just a call to escape. It's a reminder to move forward. With all you've got, until you can't anymore. And that, too, is deeply Japanese. Section 9 The Art of Letting Go Why Japan Finds Beauty in Surrender. In the West, letting go is often seen as giving up. It's a loss, a sign of weakness, of failure. But in Japan, letting go can be something beautiful. It can be quiet, graceful, even wise. There's an old Japanese phrase akiramete, raku ni ner. It means, give up, and find peace. It doesn't mean stop trying. It means stop resisting. That's the difference. Giving up on control is not the same as giving up on life. In fact, it might be the start of something deeper. Forrest Gump doesn't chase revenge. He doesn't force anything. He lets things go. And what comes back to him comes naturally. Japanese culture respects that. The ability to let go of expectations. To stop clinging. To allow things to unfold as they will. Think of the cherry blossom. It blooms beautifully. And then it falls. Without regret. Without resistance. This cycle bloom and fall is not a tragedy. It's nature. And it's beautiful. Forrest lives the same way. He doesn't hold on too tightly. He feels deeply. But he also knows when it's time to release. So maybe surrender isn't a defeat. Maybe it's a kind of wisdom. The kind that says, I accept. And because I accept, I am free. Section 10 Forrest Gump as a Japanese hero in disguise. What if I told you? Forrest Gump might be the most Japanese hero ever created by Hollywood? Think about it. He's humble. He's quiet. He doesn't seek attention or power. He follows the flow of life. And accepts whatever comes without complaint. In Japanese culture, that's not weakness. That's strength. That's character. That's dignity. Samurai stories are full of warriors who don't chase glory. They just do their duty. Live simply. And die with grace. Monks in Zen temples don't shout their wisdom. They sweep the floor. Serve tea. Watch the wind pass by. And in silence they understand the universe. Forrest is just like that. He's not a talker. He's not clever with words, but he knows how to live. He knows how to love, and he knows how to let go. He's not driven by ego. He's driven by presence, by honesty, by peace. So maybe, just maybe, while Forrest Gump was born in America, his spirit lives in Japan. He's not the hero who changes the world. He's the hero who stays true to himself, even when the world changes around him. And in a time when everyone wants to speak louder, maybe what we need most is someone like Forrest, who reminds us that quiet can also be strong. What do you think about this part of Japanese culture? Is it the same where you live or totally different? I'd love to hear your thoughts or questions in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.